I've been out and about for a bit of a ride, and I'm at the Devil Bend Reservoir. I'm just about to head down to the shoreline, and I'm going to talk about something a bit different today. So, wait till we get down there. Okay. Here we go. For those of you that have been following the series on video production, don't worry, that's coming back. But every now and then, in between, I'll be doing videos like this. Now, I think this is where I need to go. Yep, this is it. Here we go. Go down to the shoreline, I think. And that's when I'll tell you all about the subject matter for today. So, what is this mysterious subject? Well, it's a series of science fiction books. So, if you're not into science fiction, walk away now. But if you are into science fiction, please, you're going to love this. Especially if you're like me, that I like real science fiction, not science fantasy. I'll give you an example. I would put Star Wars in the science fantasy type thing. Now, it's great, it's entertaining, I enjoy it, but it's not science fiction. Star Trek is more the sort of science fiction I like, and let's say Stargate and Battlestar Galactica. So if you're into that type of thing, you'll like me. Okay, so what am I talking about? There is a series of books that I stumbled across about 2 years ago called the Frontiers Saga. It is written by an author called Ryk Brown, and he is spelled R-Y-K-B-R-O-W-N. I have never heard of Ryk before, so I stumbled across these books when I was listening to a podcast that's on the Twit TV network, Security Now. And the host, Leah Laporte, who talks to Steve Gibson about security matters, with tech and so forth. Well, every now and then Steve likes to talk about other bits and pieces, like, for instance, science fiction. And it was he who was raving about this group of books, the Frontiers Saga. So I thought I'd give it a go. That was about 2 years ago. So I started the first book, and within the first chapter I was hooked. I have now devoured the first 30 of the books and patiently waiting for 31 to drop. Now, Ryk has broken the series. So how it works is that he wrote 15 books first, and those first 15 books covered a certain area, and then he wrote another 15 books which covered another aspect of the storyline. And that gave me 30 books. And his plan is to do 70 or 75, I'm not sure the exact amount, but he apparently right from the beginning he had this story arc in mind, and that's his intention. So, where do I go from here? Just recently he dropped a book that in between the two 30-book series called The Fall of the Core. So what's so good about this series of books? Well, if you are like me and you like good science fiction, but you also like good characterization and good stories, then that's what's so good about these books. They've got really good characters that you fall in love with and you want to follow them. And as the story goes along, it starts off with 2 particular characters, and then a ragtag team is built up over time. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil this. And excuse me, I'm just wandering around here because I'm aimlessly trying to think of things to say. Okay, let's try and condense it down for you. So, the basic concept, actually it's interesting when you think about it, because we're right in the middle of a pandemic, a viral pandemic, and the books are based upon the fact that sometime in the distant future, humanity is hit with a dual bio-digital virus. So in essence you have a natural virus which is a lot worse than the coronavirus that we're dealing with. Apparently it decimates a good 2/3 of the human population over time, and at the very same time a digital virus is released, and as we find out later on, they no, I'm not going to say that, but anyway, so the digital virus is released at the same time, and it tends to decimate the technical world. So the first book starts some 500 to 1,000 years in the future from that point. And supposedly what had happened when the virus, or the 2 viruses hit, a number of scientists and organisations and governments got together before the complete decline of civilization and created what they call the digital ark, a system that was storing all of humankind's knowledge, including digital knowledge up until that point. And so as a result, humanity only took, only took 500 to 1,000 years to come back to close to where it was when it went down. Where the predictions were that if that didn't happen, they didn't have the digital ark, it could have taken 10,000 years. Anyway, so the story starts at that point. And as I said, I'm going to be careful. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you. But because of, and don't forget, the initial viruses happened sometime in the distant future, 100 or so years in the future. So we were fairly well advanced, and as a species we were already travelling out parts of the solar system and even beyond. And a lot of the book deals with the technology. This is the part I love about it from the science fiction point of view. It doesn't go overboard. It deals with ships travelling at a fairly fast rate, like possibly a quarter of the speed of light and so forth, which are technically quite possible. But, so we'll leave it at that. And so when the plague happened, a number of groups of people headed off into the distant galaxy, never to be heard of again. Until, as I say, 1,000 years have gone past, humanity have rebuilt themselves, and they're starting to move out. And this is part of the plot line where they start to encounter other groups of humans who have colonised and developed their own societies. And again, I don't want to say too much because it'll spoil the books for you. I think I'll leave it at that. It is engrossing. It is highly entertaining. Look, if you love science fiction, please give them a go. I will make sure I will put, well, at somewhere along this video you will have seen information I would have put up for links and so forth. I'll put it up now, the website to go to, and I'll put it in the notes that'll be below the video on YouTube. I cannot say I cannot rave too much about these series of books. I really can't. They would be the best series of books I have read in a long, 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 long time. You know, people rave about a lot of things, but and I'm always worrying about the fact that am I giving something too much of a, you know, a thumbs up. In this case, there is no hesitation. You know, over 30 books, and I want more. I am desperately waiting for the next book to turn up. There, that's an indication of how good they are. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and do Ryk a favour and buy his books. You won't regret it. Bye.